The small village of Umyoba was always alive with chatter. Children ran barefoot across the red earth, their laughter echoing into the evening skies. Goats bleated, mothers called their little ones home, and fathers returned from the farms with sweat shining on their brows. But in the middle of all that noise was one boy who hardly ever spoke, Chike. Chike had big, curious eyes, the kind that seemed to notice things others ignored. While other children fought over mangoes or sang rhymes, Chike stayed in one corner, silently watching. Sometimes, he picked up a stick and scratched strange shapes on the ground. No one paid much attention. His silence worried his mother. "Why does my boy not talk like others?" she asked herself at night. His father frowned too, thinking the boy was simply stubborn. At school, it wasn't better. Chike would sit at the back of the dusty classroom, staring at the chalkboard but never raising his hand. He couldn't read out letters like the others. His teacher, Miss Ada, sometimes grew frustrated. "Chike, why won't you try?" she asked him gently. But Chike just lowered his eyes and said nothing. To many, he was the quiet boy who would never catch up. But unknown to them, inside his little heart, a storm of imagination was waiting to break free. Miss Ada was young but passionate. She believed every child could shine in their way. Yet with Chike, she felt helpless. During lessons, while others recited ABC, Chike just doodled shapes in his notebook, lines, circles, animals, and houses. One hot afternoon, after the other children had gone home, Miss Ada picked up Chike's forgotten exercise book. What she saw made her pause. The pages were covered in drawings so detailed, so alive that she gasped. A bird with feathers so real it looked ready to fly. A hut with smoke curling like real fire. Faces with bright, curious eyes. "Who drew these?" she whispered, almost not believing. The next day, she asked Chike, "Did you draw this?" Chike nodded slowly, almost shyly. For the first time, a small smile tugged at his lips. Miss Ada's heart raced. This boy was not slow as people thought. He was gifted. That day, something sparked in her mind. Maybe, just maybe, she could use Chike's gift to reach him. From then on, Miss Ada changed the way she taught Chike. She began asking him to draw anything they were learning. When they learned cat, Chike would draw a fat cat with whiskers. "Cat," Miss Ada spelled, pointing at the picture. The class repeated, and so did Chike, softly. When they learned a tree, Chike drew a tall Iroko tree with roots that spread wide. "Tree," Miss Ada said. And this time, Chike whispered the letters too. Day by day, his drawings became the bridge between silence and speech. His classmates, once impatient with him, now leaned over to see his magical sketches. They nicknamed him International Boy because his talent was beyond the village. Even Miss Ada laughed the first time she said it. "Chike, your hands are too international for this village." And for the first time, Chike laughed too. At home, his parents noticed the change. Chike began spelling small words at dinner. "Mama, boy, boy," he said one evening, holding up one of his drawings. His mother's eyes filled with tears. My boy can read," she cried, hugging him tight. His father, once doubtful, patted his head gently. So all this while, the boy had a gift hidden inside him. The villagers, too, began to notice. During community gatherings, Chike would draw on the sand, and children crowded around him. Adults shook their heads in wonder. Is this not the same boy who could not even say ABC? But it wasn't magic alone. It was patience. It was a belief. It was a teacher who refused to give up on a silent boy. As weeks passed, Chike not only spelled words but began to read simple sentences. His drawings grew bolder, too, scenes of markets, rivers, and even the classrooms. One day, he drew Miss Ada standing in front of the class, chalk in hand. Beneath it, in shaky letters, he wrote, "My teacher." When Miss Ada saw it, her eyes misted. She realized this wasn't just about reading anymore. Chike was finding his voice through art. Soon, she gave him little challenges. Draw a goat, then spell it. Draw the sun, then read it. The boy who once struggled in silence was now speaking, reading, and even teaching others through his art. His classmates admired him. Parents in the village told their children, "Work hard like Chike." Every child carries something special inside. Months later, Chike stood in front of the whole school during assembly, holding up one of his drawings. His voice, once barely a whisper, rang loud and clear. "This is my picture," he said. "It is a house. House." The children clapped. The teacher smiled. And Miss Ada, watching from the side, felt her heart swell with pride. The once silent boy was now teaching others. That day, she told the school, "Every child is a garden. Some flowers bloom quickly, others take time. But with love, patience, and belief, every garden will blossom." The villagers never forgot Chike's story. And for years, parents would remind each other, "Don't laugh at a child's struggle. Inside them may be a gift waiting for the right person to believe." Chike kept drawing, reading, and dreaming. His story became proof that silence does not mean emptiness, it can mean that something magical is waiting to be heard.